Morning all. It's Tuesday morning, thinking about what we'd usually be doing in here, which is a prayer room, and well, we'd be praying, of course, because that's what we do in here. Although there's other stuff sorted out in here at the moment, just obviously because of the situation, just storing things as they might be needed in the weeks to come. But this is the prayer room, and this is where we would be praying for what's going on in our world, what's going on in our church family, where we would often, actually, we would always have a little chat beforehand, see where people are, what's going on in their lives, news that's coming in from various people, and we would share time of prayer, and we would pray around the issues of the day, issues for people, particularly for those that are vulnerable or maybe ill. I'm sure that at some point your name has been lifted up if you're part of our church in this place, in this room. But today is a reminder that things have changed, things are different. But one question keeps coming back up when I talk to people, and that is the issue of, how do I pray in times like this? How do I connect with God? How do I ask Him the big things? And we're thinking this morning about praying for our Prime Minister. Why is praying for him any more or less significant than praying for a family member or someone we don't even know who we've been asked to pray for? How does prayer work? How can we believe what we read in the Bible about asking and it will be done, and yet when we ask for it, sometimes it isn't? How do we get our heads around that? And I think particularly in a time of a pandemic, which we are facing at the moment, where we see the numbers of those losing their lives rising daily. We see the stories of those people on the front line having to battle to kind of get through their shift and then come back and do it again. And we're thinking about those people that are most vulnerable in our community, that yes, there are systems in place, but people always fall through the cracks. That's certainly our experience within the life of this Salvation Army. So how do we pray and get it to make sense when all this is going on? And we could talk about so many other dynamics of this situation. How do we pray knowing that God is listening, believing that God is listening, believing that He can do all things, and yet sometimes it seems that He doesn't intervene or doesn't work in certain situations? And why do we even have this pandemic to start with? Is God trying to teach us something? Is some of the comments and questions I've heard. And I'm not sure God is trying to teach us something, but we certainly have an opportunity to learn much about ourselves and about our community too, about how we pray effectively, how we pray well for one another, how we connect as a church family, how we connect in our community. And for those most vulnerable, it's going to be most obvious of who they are at the moment. And we have a responsibility as a Salvation Army to get involved in their lives. And that's when prayer and works go hand in hand. But how do I pray and still make sense of what's going on? How do I have that faith that I believe in who God is, His fatherhood, His wonder, His personal touch into each of our lives in so many varied ways? How do I pray in a time when prayer seems like the last thing we need, when actually we need to be staying at home, isolating ourselves, keeping away from people? We need actually more protective equipment for our NHS. We need more money in certain areas of our businesses and life. How do we pray when the practical stuff also seems so big? I'm not sure I have the whole answer for that. In fact, I'm pretty sure I don't have the whole answer for that, because otherwise I'd write loads of books and I'd be much more famous than I am not at the moment. But joking aside, I don't know the answer. And even if I did, I don't think it would ever be the full answer. But what I do know is that prayer works. What I do know is that prayer allows us to connect in a place and in a way that nothing else does. Prayer doesn't all just bring us peace in that moment. Prayer brings us peace as things unfold. I read yesterday on Twitter someone commenting that worry is like an unuttered prayer. And I think that was really beautiful, that even when we don't actually know what to say, our mind and our concerns and the things of our hearts and the things that we really are passionate about and feel compassionate towards, God is in those. And maybe we will never understand fully why some people will lose their lives and why some people won't, why some people will make a full recovery and others won't. We won't always know that. But what I do know is that prayer makes a difference in those moments. Prayer makes a difference to you, to me, to the people that we are praying for. And maybe after this is all over, we will hear and we will see. In fact, I'm convinced we will hear and we will see just where prayer has made a difference in people's lives. So can I urge you to keep praying? And even if you don't know what to say, allow those murmurs, those utterings, those things of your heart be your prayer. That seems like a good place to start, and allow God to do what he does best, and that is love you and look out for you and walk with you every step of the way.